Well, hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Oil Runners. We have our good friend, Larry Hankin. We had him a long time ago. I think it was last year. And we're welcoming him back, but he doesn't know which videos I'm about to play. So these are his own videos that I found on his website, on his YouTube. So go to his YouTube, Larry Hankin. And for Valentine's Day, I know we're not into it, but we're also, it's going to be a good one. So we'll just let it play.
Happy Valentine's Day. Got a little poem for you. Roses are red, violets are blue. Wait a minute. Violets are not blue. Violets are violet. That's why they're violet, and that's why they're called violets, because they're violet. A red light is a red light because it's red. That's why you call it a red light. See, the whole point is, if you tell the truth, you can't be elected president of the United States. Now, everybody knows that. If you tell the God's honest truth, you're not going to get elected. We all know that. But you figure the last place, the last bastion of truth is poetry, especially nursery rhymes. Roses are red, violets are not blue. Violets are violet. Roses are red, violets are violet. Christ, give me a little kiss, said Pontius Pilate. See what I'm talking about? But if you're going to use blue because you want to rhyme with blue, then use something that's already blue. I tell you what's blue. Blue balls are blue. Roses are red. Blue balls are blue. Sugar is sweet. And I got your flowers right here. Here's where your flowers are, right here. Happy Valentine's Day.
So we got another video. Give me 2 seconds to share.
Oh, you got to play both of them. All right. Cool.
Oh yeah. We go to share that. Hold on, give me 2 seconds. All right, that's here. Now I think we're there, and
Independence means I'm not a slave to rent, landlords, mortgages, demographic spam, or pop-ups. It means I'm the boss. I do what I want, whatever's necessary, no strings attached. I am a rolling stone. However, the upside of independence is complete control. Unfortunately, the downside usually only means complete control of the low-maintenance concept.
But independence also means struggle, sacrifice, no insurance, no equipment, no permission, no permit, and police harassment.
Independence means the odds are 12 to 1. You're going to be misunderstood 98.5% of the time. People are expecting anarchy and chaos. But independence also means freedom from outside influences plus final cut, which is the only protection against the 5 horsemen of the conceptual apocalypse: suits, assholes, bullshit, consent, and that's not how I picture it. Nobody will tell you the irrefutable truth about independence. Because you can't handle independence! The truth is there's no such thing as independence. It's a crock, it's a myth. All independents are actually only closet alpha codependents. You can't be independent by yourself. To be truly independent, you gotta have other people. Check it out, and good luck.
Yeah, I had a lot to choose from, but
you made me. You reminded me. I forgot about those. I did those years ago, and now they're ripe to play. They seem to wear well with time, as a matter of fact. So yeah, but I forgot about them. They're pretty good.
Yeah, I figured
back then.
I figured I'd kind of remind you a little bit. I was like, oh, I didn't know he had a YouTube channel.
I forgot about it. It happened so long ago. I did those 2015, 16. So so that's like, wow, it's almost 10 years ago. Wow. Time flies when you're having fun, man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like all the other ones, I was like, oh, yeah, this was like 5 minutes long. I didn't know how long he wanted to sit there and just watch it. I enjoyed them all.
Well, great. I think because I haven't watched any of those in at least 7 or 8 years. So I could watch them now and they'd be new to me. That's like another guy there. I'm not that guy anymore. I hope I'm a little funnier and better, but I'm not him.
Right.
So I can watch it egoless. It's kind of cool. It's great.
So did you came up with all those this is that like the script and
Yeah,
all that stuff?
yeah. I mean, back in the day, well, 2011, I dropped out in 2011, and then it petered out. In other words, I dropped out, but I kept on getting calls from people who didn't know I dropped out. So I kept on working sporadically. I wasn't going out on anything. They would just call and say, "Hey," I go, "Okay," until everybody found out. So that took about till 2015. It took about 2 years for the calls to stop coming in. So I did. So I was getting a lot of money. Is my point. Right around that time, so I could do. I just call a friend who had a camera, and if it cost a couple of $100, okay, let's just go out and shoot these. So they were just on the fly. Just I would call somebody and, hey, what are you doing tomorrow? Just like we did with this podcast. Hey, can we do it a little later? Okay, blah blah blah. So that's how we worked it out. But then the money ran out, so I just stopped doing them, and I kind of just put them up on. I didn't even put them up on YouTube. Where did you see them? On my site or on YouTube?
On YouTube, actually.
So somebody's putting them up on YouTube, and fine with me. I don't know how to do that.
Well, it was Larry Hankin. Literally, I thought you made a YouTube, and it has a whole bunch of videos.
No, there's I don't know who's doing this, but there's a lot of stuff that I've done over the years, even just snatches of movies I've done. I mean, like feature films, and just my scene. And then they put it up, and I don't know who's doing it, and I don't stop them because it's cool. I would like to do it, but I just don't know how. And I don't have time. I don't have time to learn all this stuff. To be as smart as an ape or a monkey. I mean, we're just too smart for our own good. And well, I mean, look what we're doing to the planet. You see where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
That's intelligence. Intelligence is putting the smoke in the air and making AI, and we're trying to reinvent our brain. And here, this thing. This is now replacing our DNA. In other words, all this crap that we've got in our head, the small stuff, we put it on here. No, what's Christina's phone number? I'll put it on here. I don't want to remember it. What's the app for sending for food? What's the number for Uber? It's all on here. Well, that's what DNA does. That's our smartphone. DNA is our smartphone. It's got all the information that we need to stay alive. And we're putting it on here. So we're in competition with evolution. Evolution is too slow, man. We can do it better, faster. So we're trying to reinvent the brain, AI. Yeah. So I mean, like it's like a monkey trying to, build a boat. It's ridiculous. We already have one. It's so my theory is that sooner than later, we're sending all these AI machines, and telescopes and lenses and stuff, exploring the universe. We're sending them up out there. Then as we do the AI, our stuff is getting better and more sophisticated. We can see further. We can see more. But all those AI machines someday, they already do have. They have a dark code. AI. Those AI machines can talk to each other. But we, ordinary people, human beings, if we're not scientists and stuff, we can't tap into that. It's like the dark. It's like the dark digital thing,
Right.
It's on the down low for scientists. Well, those AI machines can talk to each other. and to the scientists. But they can also talk to each other when they don't need the scientists. Like, how far are you away from me? You know, that kind of thing. Sooner or later, they're going to start, hey, wait a minute, maybe we can make stuff ourselves. And AI is going to just get together and they're going to come back. And what they're going to invent is not like an atomic bomb. That's like, you know, a Model T Ford, or even a wheelbarrow. What they're going to come back with is a spray, like a DDT spray, but for biology.
Mm.
And they're going to come back and they're just going to spray the planet with, you know, because we're infecting the universe with consciousness. And yeah, we're infecting with well, up until us. Yeah, up until us. There's only three things you can do. I boiled it down to three things. There's only three things you can do in the universe. You can keep going into infinity, like our solar system is moving in one direction. Or you can crash into something. That's what the universe, you know. Or something can crash into you. Now, that's all the universe is built to do. Keep on going into infinity until something hits you or you hit something. And that's it. And all of a sudden, we're bringing now consciousness into this. Well, no, we can duck. You know, we can move over there. And I don't think the universe knows what that is. I mean, as far as we know, we're the only ones with consciousness. I mean, we've been looking. We can look for 100. I think it's 1,000. I was just looking at the figures yesterday. I mean, I really did. I looked at the figures. They published this stuff. We can look out as far as, I think, 1,000 light years away. We can look 1,000. So as far as we know, as far as human beings know, there is no other consciousness for 1,000 light years in either direction, in all directions. So the universe, I mean, we're like new. We're like the new kids in the universe. It's like really, and we think we're all that, you know, we think we're, hey. It's like the biggest ego trip ever. I mean, and by the way, if there is other consciousness, I mean, I'm talking about even like amoeba. I'll give that consciousness. I mean, things that move by themselves, and no rocks can. I mean, there's nothing else that moves by itself. But I mean, this consciousness. We think we're the smartest things the universe ever invented. I think. I mean, that's kind of where we're at. But we're kind of lonely. You know, but on the other hand, if the universe can make us, then it can make something us before us. In other words, if we go far enough out, we're going to meet something that's way smarter than us. You know, I mean,
Right.
If the universe can come up with us, it can come up with other things, you know, and other things can be dumber or smarter than us. So I just think that we're on the wrong track, you know, and I think who invented, you know, Apple and all that? Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs, you know, spoiled it for their, you know, everything was going along fine until Steve Jobs came along and invented the smartphone. And then we're putting everything on. I don't know.
And then asking us if we are human or asking if we're, I'm sorry. They're asking us to prove that we're not a robot. Like, oh, really?
Yeah, what is it?
It's like, okay.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. What do you mean, prove I'm not a robot? Prove you are a robot. Prove who you are, and then I'll prove who I am.
Right.
You know, who are you? Or
Yeah.
what are you?
Yeah, do
Yeah.
all these little stupid pictures and
But
all that.
but you see what happened? I mean, this is, what is it? Open, we couldn't get on the air before because there was something wrong with my computer.
Right.
One little switch. It was one little switch. I had to call two. I had to make calls outside of my house. And then they connected to my internet. While after I left you, because we couldn't go on the air, I
Right.
called AOL, and they tapped into my computer. They handled my computer, my little arrow. I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You know, and then she goes, oh, and she was telling me because I could hear her. I guess I was on the phone. And she was telling me what to do, the person on the other end. She said, okay, click this, which will allow her to do this. And blah,
Right.
blah, blah. And then she said, okay, it's all. And then finally she found, after I gave her all these entrance things, it took a long time for her to be able to enter my computer. I had to, do this and then this and then this. And finally she had control of my, I said, okay, I've got it. Hands off. And boom, and she was doing, and she said, oh, here, you see this? And she put on this screen, this thing. And she says, this button here. Okay, now this is what she told me to solve our problem. She said, okay. And she takes my arrow and she goes, you see this up here? And I go, yeah. And you see this over here? Yeah. Okay, if you click that, you'll get this. And if you click that, this screen opens up. You see this button? Yeah. Push that. Okay, it's fixed. And I said, I can do the podcast now? Yeah. Okay, thank you. And here we are. And when she fixed, but it was that. Now, we went through all the other buttons. She found all the other buttons that I was, it said, sound, earphones. I was clicking all those buttons. No, she found the one. She said, just click that. Boom. Okay, that's it. Boom. And she said, oh yeah, okay, you're in control now. And she left. And I said, can I, so then I called you. Now I have a phone call into another guy who does the exact same thing for a lot more money. Now here's the difference. And I don't know what the difference is because they do the same thing. They can take control. This other guy, he can take control just like she did. So in other words, if she didn't answer the phone, I could call him. But for him to do this exact same thing is $200. Just $200.
Just to find a button?
To take control, for him to help me. Whatever that is. You want help on your computer, Larry? $200. Okay. And I've used him, and he's for some really complex stuff, because I bought a new computer and I had to do this, and I have a lot of that stuff that you did on that you got from YouTube. I have all that recorded, and it's here too. I have it saved. So we had to juggle all that. $200 for a half hour. It's $200 for a half hour.
Wow.
So if it takes more than a half hour, it's $400. If in other words, if I go for 35 minutes, it's $400. It's just another half hour. I can, okay. With her, $19. And she can stay on forever. Well, I mean, until it's solved. That for $19 a month.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, but they do the exact same thing. Now, one is AOL and one is just a guy who does that for a living. So
Right.
$200 to $400 or $19 a month. It's just like I'm trying to get off of the internet. I don't want, like, for instance, Google. I don't know. Is this interesting to anybody but you and me? I
Okay.
hope it is. I'm sure. I'm sure it is, because everybody must be watching me on a digital thingy. So, okay. So, well, anyway, I mean, I could go on forever with that kind of stuff. And so I'm trying to get off the computer. So Google, if you go on Google, you sign on an app. You know what they call a small app now? They got names for everything. An applet. They now
I,
have applets. APPLET. Applet. I couldn't
you,
figure out what that was. There was a sign saying, click on if you want this applet.
I didn't even know that. See, you knew more
Me
than I did.
neither.
I never knew.
I had to ask her, and before she could answer, I suddenly, because I've seen it a couple of times before, so it's been bubbling up. What the fuck? And then I saw it again when I was talking to her, and I said, "What is an applet?" And it suddenly occurred to me, oh, it's not like a small apple; it's an Apple small app. It's the Apple company makes small apps that are attached to larger apps, and they're called applets.
And that's
So
why
I
I
mean,
said
it's just
androids. That's
So
yes.
anyway, okay. So when you go on Google, they
Mm-hmm.
give you what's called an applet. I didn't know this, but they give you an email address. It has nothing to do with you or if you want it or not. They give it to you. You can use it or not, but you have it. And I have one. Okay, so I said to her, while you're at it, can you get rid of this little applet that Google has given me? It's an email address for
Right.
Larry Hank for me.
Yeah.
And friends, when you go on the internet, you Google, okay, I want to email Larry. Let me see if I can find his email address. Well, the digital has two choices, and it's just random. Sometimes it gives out my real email address, and sometimes it gives out Google's applet email address that I have nothing to do with. I don't give it out. I don't use it. But they give it out to people who are looking for my email address. And so they send the emails to that one, the Google thing, the app. So there must be like hundreds of emails on that. So I asked her, I said, can you get rid of it? And she said, no, you have to go through Google and you got to get permission to. She can't do that. We can do a lot of things, but we can't do that. So I can't get rid of an email that Google is good. So, I mean, I'm not even in control of all the information. And of course, people hack things, and then Trump is giving away tax information. And I mean, secrecy is like, what we should, okay, here's what we should do. Everybody should start lying. Everybody. There should be no truth anymore. So we can start off on an equal footing. Because like there's random lying, there's random truth, there's random digital truth, there's random digital things, there's Wikipedia, there's misinformation, there's fake news, there's real news. There's just all kinds of, and it's coming at me, man. I watch television now. You see, my hair is gray. People don't like that anymore. I think there's a law against getting old. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that. Oh,
What?
like, yeah, it's very few people that they're choosing to stay their natural elder looks.
Not many people are doing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I was trying to figure it out because this is important. I mean, they may pass a law saying you can't get older than 57. I don't know. You can't get older than 57. And then they have euthanasia. Yeah, well, we'll have to kill you. I'm sorry, you can't get old. Because, they have all these creams for your hands and your face and, that stuff. And it gets rid of your creases, and you can dye your hair, and there's things you can take to keep your heart beating, and you just it's not good to get old. The only and the reason I know why it's really weird, but we're on a what do you call it? It's a nexus point in evolution. Homo sapiens are. I study this. I'm like a anthropologist kind of guy. Instead of writing jokes, I look up anthropology and stuff. So we're on this. So right now, that's why it's going on. It's the Earth. We're discovering things, and we're history and blah blah blah. We have all these creams to stay young because in the last 300 years, which is in universal time is like nothing. It's like a millisecond, right? I mean, we're talking about millions of years. And so like 200 years is nothing. So like 200 years ago, you went to bed when the sun went down. In other words, before electricity, and then, so that was Edison. And then there was Steve Jobs. And now there's Musk. There's certain people that just fuck with time and evolution. And so, okay, so we're on this. So before electricity, you had to burn a lot of wood to stay up late at night. So mainly, you worked during the day and you slept during the night, and it was okay because all animals do that. Every animal, they sleep at night, or they come out at night and they sleep during the daytime. But it's based on nature and how nature's going. Okay. So now we got electricity so we can stay up late. You got jobs at night and stuff. But our time clock of getting old and, being born and going through, there used to be just 3 levels. You were young, and then you worked, and then you were wise. So you had wisdom and you shared it. And then you die. And that was cool. And it worked. It worked because when you got old, you had something to do. You had a real job that was not assigned to you or that you had to look for. Nature gave it to you. You gathered wisdom, and when you were old enough so that you couldn't work, you passed it on. And that took you a couple of, like 10 years. And then you died, which was about the kind of fit into the time zone of human life. And animals, of course, have it, you teach your cubs and then you kick them out, like a lion or, an aardvark. Okay, you know enough. And the rest you got in your DNA. You don't have a smartphone. You got it in your DNA. Get out of here. Okay. So what I'm saying is the turn that we didn't take is we outgrew our wisdom age, the 10 years of passing it on, from say like 40 to 60. You could work until 40, from like 15 to 40. In the old days, I'm talking about in the dark ages. You worked from like, say, 16, 17 to like 40 or 50. You got old, you took care of the fire, you stayed home, you passed on wisdom, and then you die. Okay, well, now you passed on wisdom, and I'm not dying. I still got, I'm only 67. I got, at least 30, 20 more years. What am I going to do? So no, I got to stay young. I got to keep dancing and working and whatever I got to do, but I got to put on cream and take pills and smooth it out and dye my hair and pretend I'm not getting old. Because frankly, all this information coming at me doesn't help humanity in my wisdom years. It's bullshit I have for 10 years that I'm passing on. It's crap. Cream, don't get old. That's what I'm passing on. Don't get old. Oh, I'm getting old. Oh, God. And I got 20 more years. In the back in the day, you didn't have to worry about that. You're going to die in a couple of, in 20 minutes. You're going to die in 20 minutes. So, I mean, that's the problem. We haven't kept up with our curiosity and our ability to manifest inventions and cars and tools to make life easier. But we haven't invented the fourth or fifth stage of life yet. We're still working on the third year of life, which is, or the fourth year maybe, the wisdom part, where you pass it on and then pass on yourself. Go on. Then we've invented heaven and hell. So, we'll still be alive even after we die. I mean, the fear of death is incredible because we are conscious. We are aware. The other animals don't worry about dying. They have no idea about death. Elephants they kind of recognize something. Because, when elephants pass elephants' bones, they stop and they dig it. I mean, do you know that?
Yeah, where they gather, they make sure that they gather around the
bones.
deceased, and all that stuff, and then they kick out. They protect all of that and mourn. I find that very intriguing on how animals really
they revere it. They understand. They don't understand it. They get it.
Yeah.
They grok it. They don't understand it. They grok it. They feel it. And that's cool because wisdom, we don't know. I mean, as far as consciousness in the universe, as far as we know, as far as I know, consciousness in the universe is it's minor. It's about as long as Homo sapiens Cro-Magnon 350 how do you say that? 350,000 years. We've been, from say past apes, the first kind of humanoid Homo kind of thing, Homo erectus, Cro-Magnon, 350,000 years. In evolution time, that's a drop in the bucket. And probably half of that really wasn't a lot of consciousness. The first 100,000 years of Homo whatever, Cro-Magnon, Neanderthal, it wasn't much consciousness. We kind of stood up and looked around. So, I mean, being aware that we're gonna die, not that somebody died or an elephant died, but that an elephant realizes I'm gonna die sometime. That awareness is it's like 10 seconds of, so I don't think we really have the handle on consciousness. I mean, that's my bottom line. That's my thing about digital and the computer. We've invented our curiosity and manifestation has far outstretched our comprehension of where we're going or what we're doing with this stuff. I mean, so, the chart they have in schools about evolution, you go from, the fish to walking on land, to monkeys, to apes, to Cro-Magnon, to Homo erectus, and then to Homo sapiens with a briefcase. You've seen that cartoon, okay. So, and then they're in schools, and it's Darwin's thing. It's like that, it goes blah, 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 blah. And then it ends with the Homo erectus, carrying a briefcase. And that's very funny. And it's a cartoon. Right. My theory is that it's not funny and it's not a cartoon. Darwin's predicting that's where it ends. It's just, we stop there. He's telling the truth. That doesn't continue. It stops.
Right.
With us. I mean, that's how stupid we are. I mean, how we're on this planet. What do you think? Musk and the scientists are going to invent a way for us to get to another planet, right? They figure, in about I don't know, maybe we will be able to manifest ourselves to, you know, a black hole or something like that. I don't know. But for right now, I don't give much truck to consciousness, to being aware of stuff. Oh, we can build AI and we can build motorboats and fly in airplanes and see 100,000 light years into the past, not the future, into the past. We can look. I mean, we build stuff. We
Right.
cups and stuff, but I don't see where that is going. Or I just think that we're like babies with samurai swords. That's what I think Homo sapiens are. We're very young people with very quick minds, Homo sapiens, that we can build AI, but it's like a baby with a samurai sword. We've built something that can kill us in 2 seconds if we don't know how to handle it right.
Right.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. I cut off your head. I'm sorry. But I mean, that's what I think Homo sapiens are. It's just babies with samurai swords. Yes, we can and like I say, the samurai swords are very sharp. They're true, beautiful, immaculate scalpels that are that big. I admire that. It's not like a carved thing or a blunt instrument. It's not like a club. It's a very cool samurai sword. And we're babies playing with it. You know, that's our consciousness. Is a samurai sword. I hope we can get past it. But again, the fear of growing old is just getting in the way. What we have to do is figure out what, when you reach, like, say, 70, there should be like a job, not like what they say is, well, I don't know. I can't sleep at night. I take pills. I have to get sleeping pills. I'm like 70 years old. I have to, I don't know what to do with my time. The kids are grown up. They've gone away. They've moved away. I'm living alone, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, no. So what they say is, no, you got to keep busy. Learn a language. Get a hobby. I mean, that's such bullshit. Right. Because no, you don't tell a guy who's got a wife and a kid or a couple of kids and a mortgage and insurance, you don't tell him, no, get a hobby, keep busy. No, you have to get a job. You have a time that's given to you by nature. It's called forage. Build, make, take care of, manifest. Cool. And then pass that knowledge on when you get older. Pass that knowledge on. Okay. Well, there's more. There's another thing now. After you pass the knowledge on, we now have outgrown. You see what I'm saying? We've outgrown our time. We've lived longer than what we used to measure it by, which was the sun. Dark, light. That was our clock. Dark, light. Dark, light. Half a day, midnight, dark light. Okay. But now we don't go by that because we got electricity and light. So we can work whenever we want, So we got to invent something for old people to take their minds off the pills and oils and ointments. So, something really, solid. I mean, if you have to support a family, that's solid. I mean, that's a given. That's a good. You can take a large bite out of that and hang in there for like 10, 20 years. I was doing that. I was trying to do the the declinations. I go, okay, childhood, then learning, and then we got kind of you're new at this particular job. I don't know what just an assistant, and then a worker. So those are 4 different. Okay, like for instance, 15 years old. Get a 15-year-old and a 17-year-old. Okay, if you're 15 years old, you're not in any kind of league with a 17-year-old. That's 2 different ages, man or lady. Sorry.
Yeah.
But in other words, a 15-year-old is not anything like a 17-year-old as far as, sex drives, acne, learning, obeying, disobeying, making rules, breaking rules. 15, 17-year-old, 2 different. Okay, it's 2 years. 65 and 67. What's the difference? There's no difference. It's the same 2 years. See what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't see a problem with getting old, honestly. I try to tell
me
people.
neither, but this is what I'm doing. Bad.
Earned it.
You bet. But that's why I like Alaska, or Australia or Africa. In other words, the tribes have it down. There is a job for everyone for every age. And it's not just be busy, get a hobby. No, there's no hobbies in tribal things. You do that instead of sleeping, you do a hobby. No,
right.
It's you have at a certain age, you have a major thing to do with your life.
Right.
Well, that's over. And we've got now 10, 20, 30 extra years. What'll I do with it? I don't know. I'll just get fat and my daughter will take care of me. Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the Alaska Natives, because even like the elders, obviously they teach during the years, but they still are working as best as they can during their
There's no ointment to take away the teaching of the young.
Yeah.
You don't take ointments. You have a job to do, and it's an honorable job, and you're respected for it. And you hope that you can just grow old as wise as the person who's passing it on to me.
Yeah. And they don't have that much money or anything like that. They've done the training.
What does a 90-year-old pass on? In a tribe, you bet if you get to be that old, if you get 90 in Africa or the tribes of Alaska or the Yukon or Canada or tribes, who still go by the sun and nature, and they hunt. I mean, here's a job: fishing.
Yeah,
that feeds people. It's not like no, well, hey, we're going on vacation. We're taking the family fishing. What?
Yeah, no, they feed.
I have to feed the children. You go fish, and it's not a vacation. You come home with a whale, okay?
Yep. Okay. Yeah. Right.
And don't come back if you don't have a whale. I mean, what good are you if you don't have a whale? We got everything else is taken care of here. What we don't have is somebody who knows how to catch a whale. We don't know that. You do.
Have fun.
Yeah. And you earn your keep, because when you come back, we'll take care of you. We'll feed you. We'll make a bed for you. You'll have a place. But without a whale, you're nothing.
And it's not just one. Yeah, it's not just one family. It's literally the whole community that they
Yeah,
utilize
unity.
and
Oh,
they provide for. So and I thought that was quite interesting as well, as that
oh
they
man, it's more than
do that
interesting. It's
on.
it
And
it's needed. It's necessary.
yeah.
So and we're and and then now Trump is saying no vaccination. So no, he's getting rid of all the help. He's going back to Homo erectus, is what he's doing. Well, we didn't have vaccinations back then, and look at us now. We're cool. Oh man. Yeah, but we had back then we had the DNA had the vaccination stuff. In other words, we were eating so much stuff that wasn't clean at all and half cooked or raw that we had all the vaccinations we needed by eating the stuff that would protect us from what's going to kill us now, bird flu. I mean, there was birds and people back then, but we were immune
Yeah, what
because we had eaten enough different stuff and microbes and other stuff that because there's a lot of animals that have immunity to stuff that we're not immune to.
mm,
So, how did those animals get immunity? If you hang around long enough, whatever. I don't know. I think I've come to the end of
mm.
my lecture. Yeah. So what's new with you? What's new with you, Christina?
Not not much. Still
Who
going
is?
through surgeries.
I
Yay!
mean, well, where do you live in a? Where do you live? Like in a city, in a tribe, in a bungalow, in a village, what when you're not on the podcast, what's it like around where you are?
I live in Anchorage, so it's a city ish,
Oh,
you
okay,
know,
cool.
and we still have it's a little different from the cities that, like you guys are used to, where
Well,
have, like,
in what way?
well, we got the ocean as our downtown kind of thing.
Cool.
So we have the whales coming through, and then we have bears walking through. So it's kind of we still have our buildings as a city. It's the biggest city, but it's still enough to where wildlife is.
Is in the mix. Well,
Yeah,
yeah. See, and that I think that's important, and we've like lost all touch with nature. I mean, you go to an American city. Well, what do you call down south? Do you call it anything when
the
you're
lower
going to
48.
America? Going down to the 48? Yeah. Well, if 48, any city in the 48 is a very little contact with nature or the
Yeah,
universe or anything besides cement and
yeah,
mowed lawns. I mean, yeah, that's something to do. Mow the lawn. That's
yeah. I mean, we still have
that's,
that
that's a
too.
good human endeavor. Mowing the
Yeah,
lawn.
yeah. I like the fact that um down the street from my house, it's maybe about a 10-minute drive, if that, right? So
Oh, right.
straight
Yeah.
shot drive from my house, and you got Starbucks on the right next door is the donut shop, like Dunkin' Donuts, or I can't remember, is it I think it's Dunkin' Donuts, but literally you could walk right next door to each other, right? Then across the street is Walmart and Fred Meyer's. Okay. But in the parking lot of the donut shop and the Starbucks, you can sit in nature, and there's a nice creek and all that stuff, and the ducks are there, the eagles are there, wolves are coming around. I mean, it's just literally, it is an amazing. You can. I just take my camera and I'm just like, I just need a break. Go get my coffee right. In the car. Go around in the drive-through. Come through. Go get the coffee and the donuts. Sit there in the car. Sit outside. Talk to the eagle. We're good to go. Take a little walk, and I mean, and it's an adventure within.
Exactly.
And
But it
I
gives
love that.
you it gives you a conscious connection. That's
Yeah,
all it is. What you're talking about is connection. You're
yeah,
connected to the animals and the life and the land and the Starbucks. And yeah, fine. There's nothing wrong with Starbucks, nothing wrong with a donut, nothing wrong with a building, nothing wrong with a creek or a wolf. There's nothing wrong with it. But cities are not our wolves, not our animals, not our trees. I mean, now they're starting to redesign cities to look more natural. Oh man. Well, I mean, see, I think, like all the civilizations come and go. Nobody ever thinks about that.
Right.
The civilizations you think about, oh, Egypt, and then it's gone. Constantinople, and then it's gone. But when you were in Constantinople or you were in Egypt, it was slowly going away over hundreds of years because the planet was changing and the people and the cities changed with it. It wasn't like everybody get out now, like Gaza. Everybody get out of this country now. You got 20 minutes. Don't pack, just get. No, that's not how the Egyptians. No, it was like attrition. That's what it was. Attrition. It was natural, Hey, I think I'm going to move to over there. That was the other thing. The Indians in the Midwest, at the buffalo. You would just step out of your teepee and get dinner. Well, and you can too. You can go fishing in the creek right outside of Starbucks. Go fishing. But I mean, in other words, we have lost. I see what I'm saying. We've lost track of time. We are now on human time. We used to be on nature time. The sun, the moon, the animals, winter, summer, migration. We judged our living by the deer will come in another moon, in several more moons. Okay, so we have to fish now, meat later. So that was the time frame, and you ran your life that way. So you dress the meat to be saved for the winter, blah blah blah. Okay, but now we are clock, so this day can be any time of night or day, and we don't have animals to realize that animals die sooner, so we have a little reminder of death. So it's not like strange all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm dying. No, it's, oh, hey, it's my time. Not oh my gosh, it's my time, but it's my time.
Yeah, simple. I when I first got up here the second time, speaking on the time, I went to my parents' friend's house, and we were going out fishing in Homer the next day and everything, and they didn't have a clock anywhere whatsoever, right? But so it was kind of good. I love the fact of the idea, but I didn't realize how much anxiety your body can have when you're not having your phone or the time, like the physical time, because I was looking for the time everywhere, but I enjoy exactly. And I enjoyed the reservation that because the caribou would come around or whatever, but I enjoyed that like you said, that nature time. It's like, well, this is kind of cool. I could live like this all the time if I had, you know what I mean? If that's I didn't know what time. You could tell what kind of, because of the sunlight coming down a little bit more. I'm like, okay, maybe it's a little bit evening, but you can tell, all right. But I really, really had to look at how my body was reacting to not having a clock on the wall or on the microwave or, and stuff like that.
You bring up an interesting point, because I never thought of it that way. In other words, I was thinking we're missing nature. So without nature, we become uptight. But what you're saying is no, because we're run by the clock, we're becoming uptight. And we're saying the same thing, but we're coming from a different thing. And I think it's important for me to realize that no, we are on a clock, but it's a clock, not the sun or nature.
Yeah.
And that clock and nature calms us down. Clocks put us uptight.
Absolutely.
But see, the thing is in tribal language, and then so now when I talk about tribal, I'm not talking about your tribe or his tribe. I'm talking about a time frame. Tribal is nature time. Contemporary is clock time. They're two different manifestations of measurements of time. You know, it's one we measured by the sun or the darkness, or the season, and the other is by Greenwich Village time and where you are on the continent and where it's time. And I got to be in bed by like on this. I said this a long time ago because I was just fooling around with it when I got it. I several iterations of this a couple of years ago. So it says, what time do you want to go to bed and what time do you want to get up? Right. Well, I have no time that I want to go to bed. It never occurred to me to even think of that. I get, generally there's a routine. You just get into it as a habit. But I never thought of actually quantifying it and putting it down on a clock. So I filled it in because it was there, not because I needed it. I just had nothing to do at the moment. So I'll fill in, I want to get up at 10 o'clock a.m. I want to go to bed at 12 midnight. Okay. So just random numbers. If I ever wanted to take a vacation, that sounded like a good time to go to bed and get up. I don't know. Well, okay. So I just said it and I forgot it. I just left it and I, did other things with my cell phone. This was years ago. Just for your podcast, we were going to do it at 11:30. So I was staying up late and I thought, well, I don't know if I can get up in time, but generally I can. I mean, I don't need an alarm. But I thought, wait a minute, years ago, I put a time thing. I wonder if it's still there. So I got my thing. Oh yeah, I wonder if it still works. Well, I don't know. Let's see. I didn't fool with it at all. And I went to bed, I don't know, 2 a.m. last night. And I got up at, 8:30. Okay, fine. Around 10 o'clock, I went back into the bedroom, like 5 minutes to 10 or whatever. And I just sat on the bed and I just waited. And sure enough, 10 o'clock, it ding, 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 time to get up. Now, and here's how cool Apple was, because I think it was an applet. It was low enough, the ding, 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 to get up at 10 a.m. It was low enough so it shouldn't wake me up. Fuck. The alarm to get me up was low enough so that it wouldn't wake me.
Right.
And what's the point? Because I didn't set it. I just said, wake me up at 10. Well, this is years ago. Wake me up at 10, and I want to and make a signal, boop, 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 at midnight. And at midnight I checked. Doot, doot, doot. Yeah. It but low enough so I don't have to hear it. But it does ring. So I don't, you see what I'm trying to explain, and it's beyond my comprehension what I'm trying to explain.
No, I totally get it. I do use the phone for a
What
lot.
I'm saying, well, I guess what I'm saying is nature, we've forgotten nature and we haven't discovered how to deal with clock time. So it's
Right,
putting us uptight.
right.
If at least we learned how to deal with it as our conscious awareness learned over, over the years, hundreds of thousands of years, that, oh, I see, we don't have to, we can just judge our days by the sun. When it gets dark, go to sleep. That kind of works. And get up when it gets light. That kind of works. And then we can work during the day, sleep at night. Yeah, that kind of works. But that doesn't work anymore, but we're still trying to maintain, the I don't know, the idea of it.
Yeah,
But
I
but
was I
but
was
it
thinking
doesn't.
that thought. I was thinking that thought somewhat about a couple weeks ago about the animals. I thought it was quite interesting on how they know when it's time to sleep. They know when it's time to wake up. They and
And they
I
knew
was
when the seasons change. That's even
yeah,
better. And now they found out that turtles, this is really weird, man. Turtles lay eggs and then, okay, so the babies, okay, but they don't stay where they were born.
right,
They cross the Atlantic Ocean or they go the other way, the Pacific. They cross thousands of miles to grow old and feed where the fish really are. Where the fish really are thousands of miles away from where they were born. Salmon, the same thing. They go down the river into the sea, but they come back. Okay, but they come back to where they were born. And
mm-hmm,
scientists can't figure out or couldn't figure out, how do they do that? How do they memorize from little babies, thousands of miles, and then, like 90 years or however long turtles grow to, 70 years later, suddenly they go, it's time to lay eggs. I'm going back to where I was born. And they travel all the way back through storms, through currents, through cold water, hot water, whatever. And they go back and they lay their eggs in the same place they were born. And the comes,
yeah.
how did they do that, man? And
All
it
the
turned, what?
Yeah, all the animals do that. The bears, but then we put the houses in their place or
In their
in their
way, or in the way of where they were going. Well,
yeah,
but
and
how do they know? Even if the house is in the way, how do they know that this house is in the way from where I want to go? And it turns out that salmon and birds and turtles have a little thing in their brain that connects to the magnetic field of the earth. Like
uh,
a compass.
yeah,
They have one of those
wow,
in their brain. They have one of those in their brain, but it's not tuned to the. It's amazing what they found out that turtles. This is it's called printing. When they're first born, they go into the water and they feed, near where they're born because they're young and they're still swimming away. So they're
right,
feeding now. Where they're feeding tastes different no matter where you feed. Every place on earth tastes different to turtles. So, and there's another thing. When they feed, turtles do a feeding dance. Well, feeding whim, but they do a certain prescribed thing while and after they eat, and then it
hmm
goes away. Okay. That dance and taste is imprinted. And when they go down there, they get this thing about, I want to go where the taste is. And I can remember through the dance, the dance and the taste are connected, and that's what they go to. They go to where the taste is familiar for when they were dancing when they were kids.
Wow.
And you say, well, that's kind of weird and I don't believe it, or it's impossible, or you better run that test again because it sounds a little too quirky. But birds fly thousands of miles and they're not afraid of falling out of the sky, but they fly thousands of miles and they do have a magnetic thing with the earth. They can fly. And buffalo, the same, they go to the same feeding ground. They don't have a map. They don't have a Wikipedia. They don't have a Google.
Yeah. Eagles, they all the eagles, I guess, in the United States or something, they all come up to Alaska and congregate in one spot.
How do they know?
Every year. Like, yeah, that and
I mean, so wow. We are really in as far as Homo sapiens go, I believe we're very, we're babies. I mean, if we're not babies with samurai swords, we're maybe 15-year-old. That's the kind of thinking we have. As far as, in like 500 years, we may be able to make it for 500. I don't think we're going to make it for very long. I really think we're not. We're not going to shut off the planet and the smoke. And I mean, we're screwing with every kind of thing. We're screwing with the land. We're screwing with the water. We're screwing with the air. I mean, these are basically three things that we depend on.
Yep.
Land, water, and air, and food. Okay, and then the sun. And we'll start fucking with the sun if we get this solved. We'll start fucking with the sun. I mean, we just like to. We think we're problem solvers. That's in other words, in our species, placement of what do these animals, what are they here for? We are problem solvers. That's what consciousness is. No, we like to fuck with things. Well, I don't think we are solving any problems. Well, we're solving, well, I would like an easier way to get to work. Oh, how about trains or a bus instead of walking? Okay. And that's a problem solving. No, that's not a big time. No. Making it really easy for me and you to go to the moon tomorrow and come back on Thursday. That's a start as to, the same thing as a bird being able to go to Alaska and then back to South America. Mm-hmm. And be able to just navigate it. Yeah, sure. We do it every year. We go to Alaska and then we fly back down to Mexico or wherever. Yeah, we do that every year.
And they do it for free.
Because I go for a bike ride and there's a reservoir right near here. And a thing where birds, they ducks, I guess, because they swim in the reservoir. But it's connected to the ocean. So it's a salt water. It's not really a reservoir, but it acts like one.
Right.
It's kind of man-made or man fucked with. So there's a thing for birds to sit on, and if they want to, they can just hop into the water and swim around. Ducks. And then when they don't want to swim around, they just hop onto this thing. So as I ride my bike, every other day, I go past it, and depending on the time of day, they're either all lined up. I'm talking about 100 birds on these things. They just sit there. And then at other times, they're in the water, all these 100 birds, or else they're flying somewhere. But now it's winter around here, or, in Southern California, what's winter to us. So there's no birds. They've gone south. So no matter when I go, there is no birds in the reservoir or on the land or wherever.
Well, how is it now with the animals now that fire happened in California?
Well, no, this was even before the fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm sure that's affected the birds who were in the forest there and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the birds that I see, because I've been living here a couple of years, and every year in the winter there's no birds, and then at a certain time they all come back. They don't all go to the same place, but they all come back at the same time. Or maybe they do
Right.
go to the same place. I don't know. But in other words, okay, until human beings can do that. Well, I guess in the old days, like the Hawaiians, they could do that.
They
They
still
could
do.
read clouds and the sea and the color of the water
Yeah.
to where the next island is over the horizon, and they knew to go this way, not that way. I mean,
Yeah.
because if you're traveling 1,000 miles in water, just that much difference, by the time you go 1,000 miles, you're way off course. And that's just that much, But the Hawaiians could do that. Now, maybe one Hawaiian can do it, He passed on by some grandfather. But, so I mean, but they had to study that, and it was passed on, the oral or oral languages. No, birds don't. The birds pass it on through the DNA. Yeah, when the sun is this and the leaf is that and bop bop bop, and they feel this and you follow that, go that way. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and nobody asks if are we going right, or I mean, are you sure you're going? I mean, I don't remember this. I don't remember.
Well, we're just gonna go here anyway. We'll figure that one out as we go.
Yeah. So I mean, see, my go-to, feelings about humanity is I'm pretty iffy on the whole human species. I really am. I mean, I'm having fun while I'm here, and I enjoy stuff, and I have friends and blah blah blah. But I know that I'm going to pass on before the real big shit hits the fan. So I've dealt with my death in a very logical way. Yeah, it's going to happen after I'm getting out of the way. I'll be out of the way before. We have to start living underground and wearing oxygen masks. Like we see in science fiction when human beings go to other planets.
I was going to ask you about that. Since you were an actor, I was going to ask you about that. It's like a lot of people, like Star Trek, or something where they had a cell phone in the show, like way before the cell phone. Like, wait a minute, how did you, they did all this stuff, all these movies were having all these things ahead of time that now we have, and now we look back and we're like, wait, huh? Like, y'all knew about this before?
Well, no. I mean, there's certain things. Well, okay. Here's my theory on that. It was just a sentence. The future. You can't predict. Wait a minute. You can predict the future, but it's iffy. In other words, I can say that in the future, men are going to fly. Now, Icarus flew too close to the sun. So the wax on the feathers that he used as glue melted, and he fell out of the sky. And so that was the thing about the danger of being in the sky, of thinking. But other people thought, no, that's really cool. Men flying, the wax melting, that's mythology. But a guy pasting feathers on his wings, no, that's man flying. And then, of course, so I was thinking, in the last 3 weeks here in the States, there's been 3 plane crashes in the last 3 weeks. Are you aware of that? It's on the news.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So do you think when the Wright brothers, who, you know, were flying, kind of, do you think that they ever thought that in a couple of more years, because I'm talking about what, 1917, 1900, you know, nobody was flying in 1900. I guess the Wright brothers were around then. I'm not exactly. Okay. But do you
Yeah.
think while the Wright brothers were on trying to get these wings right and getting it on a hill, and I think we can just, you know, float up there. There's a way of doing it. Do you think that they thought, you know, if we get this to work at all, I mean, just lifting us up and just flying for even a couple of feet, then in about 100 years, 3 planes are going to crash, you know, for what we're doing here now. No, it's
Right.
beyond their comprehension. But other people were thinking, well, if they can get off the ground, you know, we can make money off of this. We can monetize what the Wright brothers are doing. I don't know how, but so in other words, you can kind of sort of predict the future and it might work out. So then, no, they didn't know, but they hoped and they put a couple of things together. But more than likely, you can put a lot of things together and nothing will happen. Like Leonardo da Vinci. See, I studied industrial design, and he was an inventor. Basically, he was an industrial designer. You invent stuff, you know, like cars. I mean, Musk with the invention of a battery that could run a car. That's industrial design. Industrial design. You know, let's design batteries that you can put in a car that'll run it. You don't need anything else. So, and back, so there's a lot of stuff that you can think about and it might come true. That's really not predicting the future. That's just, we're just fucking with stuff until it works. But we're young. My theory is we're very young at it. I mean, AI now is a big deal, and we're afraid of it, and we can't shut it off. You know, there's when it was first invented, people said, "Well, all you have to do is pull the plug, and we're cool." No, there's certain parts of AI that you can't pull the plug on. I don't know how that works, but even so, AI, in about 500 years, AI is going to look like a Tinker toy. It's going to be like, you know, Legos, you know, but somebody is going to think of something now. They say, hey, no, AI, blah, blah, blah. And they go, oh, did he predict that? No, he was just, you know, it's like dreams. I mean, I had this weird dream about this monster, blah, blah, blah. Well, where did that come from? I think you can't dream anything that hasn't been put together by your brain out of reality. Even in the old days, you know, when there were, you know, everything was mythology and monsters and, oh, well, like dragons, the bones of elephants were so huge when Cro-Magnon men were around that they couldn't put it together. They couldn't put the bones of an elephant together to make it look like an elephant. They just found a thigh bone that was about this big. Well, when they dreamed a dragon, which is kind of like a snake that's huge. So you can think of, oh, dragons were No, it's like you dreamed something that you took pieces of reality and made something new. But there's nothing in the new thing that's new. It's just you put it together in a new way. If I took this and this and put it like this, oh, no, nobody's ever put it together this way. That's what AI is. I mean, they've had all the parts and stuff, you know. But if we do this and this, or, so yeah, I mean, the future I'm putting together from what I gain from all the input I have coming in at me, which would be different from all the input you're coming in at you. Your future to predict would be weird, very different than mine. Now we can compare stuff and say, yeah, well, that's kind of, I kind of dig that because I can see what you made me see what you saw. So now I can, okay. Now that can be used to put something else that I got from her together and boom. But my, greater ball of wax of humanity is, I don't think we're very smart at all. I mean, the mistakes we make are planetary. I mean, a lion going into an elephant's territory is taking a risk. Maybe he doesn't even know it because he doesn't know it's elephant. But an elephant will just step on him. I mean, unless you get a group of lions. A group of lions can take it down. But one against one, no. Or whatever. The point being that we have yet to step into something that's going to step on us. We've pretty much conquered our planet. We can go anywhere, put on, we got suits, we're going to go down, heat suits, freezing suits, space suits. So we do have, things. Well, I know you can't go out alone, but we got a thing you can ride in, and then you have a thing to put on, and then you can go out into space. That's pretty cool. So, we like to manifest, we like to build, we have to, we're makers. But on a very, when you talk about the universe, when you talk about a nova, or I don't know. I mean, basically, see, I go back to, there's only 3 things you can do in the universe: go forever, hit something, or have hit something hit you. And then all of a sudden, consciousness. And consciousness, as far as I can tell, is only about 3. I'll give you 300,000 years old. Consciousness, any kind of life, anything that can move on its own, and it moves on its own to feed itself or protect itself, but to move, that's new. There's nothing else that can move by itself in the universe that we can find. It's all on this planet. To me, that says, to my fellow Homo sapiens, who the fuck do we think we are with this ego of, hey, we've built, dams and cars and AI and pudding. We made pudding. Wow. I don't see how far that can get us. I don't see how far. Musk's whole thing, Elon Musk, the reason he's doing whatever he's doing is for one reason only, and it's bigger than Trump. Musk wants to get to Mars. And this is true. And deep in his heart, he knows it. His wife knows it. Some of his kids know it. Trump is trying not to think about that at all. Trump is thinking Musk is helping him. Musk is doing everything that Trump wants because he wants to be the first man to get somebody to Mars. That's his big dream. Like Steve Jobs wanted to invent or make this into something that we could use. He dreamed about this. He died before, Apple is continuing it. But he dreamed about making the Wright brothers dreamed of flying. Okay, these are small dreams. Musk dreams about, like Wright brothers dreams about flying. Musk dreams about being the first man to get to the moon. And he needs a lot of money and a lot of power to do that. But as far as humankind goes, that's diddly squat compared to the 7 billion people that are going to be left here while Musk and a friend of his are on the Mars. Who's going to fly the 7 billion of us also to Mars with a first class, and everybody gets a bag of peanuts? That's not going to happen. Or I think we're going to be extinct before that happens. I mean, Musk, I don't know. That's where all my, I don't think I was very funny in this. I don't know how long we've been on here, but that's where my mind goes now. I don't go to writing funny stuff. I kind of write reality science, things that are real, that are kind of dumb, but wow, holy cow. Musk landed a rocket on its tail. You've seen those, right? Where you shoot the thing up, you shoot thing up, and then it can land the same way. It can land down like that.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that couldn't be done. It would tip over, or you couldn't get it straight when it came down. And he figured it out, boom, and he had a boom, and then a boom. He did it a couple of times, That was his big deal. But what he wants to do is do that on Mars.
Right.
But to me, that's big deal. I don't, I think Picasso did more than Musk as far as experimenting and taking us to new places. Picasso, yeah. Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci. He dreamed about everything that we're building now. He was 500 years ago. Parachutes. He invented parachutes. He drew it. We have pictures of his parachutes. So now we're doing it. But he was doing it back then. Nobody would build it. Nobody would give him the money for that. So but he was famous. Leonardo was very famous, as famous as Musk and Picasso, But he's no different. And I don't see where, in other words, when we discover another life form, that's going to be, whoa, it's going to be scary and weird and quirky. Because if there is another life form, even if it's a germ, then that means that could be other life forms like us and better. When you think about, we've been around, the universe is what, 12 billion years old? That's what they say, 12 billion. And we've been conscious for 300,000 years.
Right.
I don't know, what kind of percent is that? Like 0.0000000%. See, that's where I go. We're not very old. We're kind of babies with samurai swords.
That's your next book title.
Yeah. Okay, listen, I got to go write my query letters. I finished another book called How to Survive, by the way. I've been practicing all of it. It's kind of based on a lot of the stuff I've been talking about. But I boiled it down. I got to rewrite it. In other words, get it down to, how long have we been on now? How long have we been
hour and a half.
Hour and a half. Okay. So for this hour and a half, the book that I wrote, I got to get like an hour and a half down to 15 minutes. So in other words, I've written about, I don't know, let's see, 3, 8. I've written about, I don't know, over a couple of years, or more than 1,000 pages. And Oh, way more. I mean 10,000 pages. No, 70, 100,000 is what I'm talking about. More than 100,000. I got to boil down 100,000 pages to maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Now, it's got to be, the real total has to be 80,000 words. That's like a rule of the book publishing. If you go into a bookstore, all those books in like, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, all those books that are for sale in those two stores all over the United States are between 70,000 and 90,000 words. That's it. That's the rule. In other words, they're not written all over the place. I can write as many words as I want. No, you can't get published on Earth unless you do it yourself by any publisher on Earth, because I've tried to. 70,000 to 90,000 novels. This is novels, which is like 90% of all the books published. I mean, you can publish a 1,000-page book. You can publish a 100,000-page book. If you got enough money, there's presses that'll do that.
Right.
But there's a rule. In other words, and generally, if you want to get a book published, if you write a book about your life, your memoir, or whatever, just an ordinary book, to get it published in Barnes and Noble or in Amazon, it has to be, they ask you, how many words is it? If it's between 70 and 90,000 words, they will, I see pages, not words, 70 to 90 words, 70 to 1,000 words. And I've written about 100,000 pages. God knows how many, over 10 years. So it's not that I didn't do it over a weekend. But I want to publish a book. I want to get it on Amazon and sell it in Barnes and Noble and all the other places. Tell me, well, it has to be between 70,000 and 90,000 words, no more, no less. Oh, we won't read it. We won't publish it. Too much trouble.
Huh.
Nobody will buy it.
So with that, when you're writing, when you're doing it on the computer, writing your on the Word Perfect or whatever thing, do you have to have certain fonts and certain things that you have to align it with that they?
No, they just what they do is they give you. There's two ways you can do it. There's three ways you can do it: a form, an email, or snail mail. They say, first of all, you have to write and you say, what's your book about? That's a synopsis. Can't be more than a page. Can't be more than 2 pages. A synopsis of your 80,000 word book. So you have it. But that's harder than writing the book. In writing the book, you just get an idea and you keep on writing until you have no more ideas, and you keep on writing some more off of those ideas, and then you start to winnow it down, edit it down, until you get it to 90,000, 80,000 words. Okay, so that's about 300 pages. Approximately 70,000 words is about 300 pages. Okay, that's what they want to publish. 80,000 words, 300 pages. All the books sold all over the earth. 90% of them, I'll give you another factor. 90% of them are between 70,000 and 90,000 words and somewhere near 300 pages. 90% of all the books on earth. 80% of those 90,000 books, 80% of those books, those 90% of books, are bought by women. That's an interesting fact. 80% of all books sold, at least in the United States, is definitely 80% are bought by women. Therefore, if if you want to sell a book, you have to deal with that selling factor, that you have to appeal to 80% of the buying population, which are women. So there's got to be something about women in it. Something, anything, something. A boy-girl relationship, freedom for women, equality of women, whatever. Anyway, sell faster. It'll sell faster. That's kind of, like silliness. But I want to sell the book, so I'll do it. But what I'm
Right.
talking about is the fact that if you read the book, what I'm trying to tell you is the fact that you're reading this book and intelligent has nothing to do with the universe. We're going to be gone in about less than 1,000 years, unless Larry Hankin is wrong. And I could be. The future is iffy, but predictable. You can't predict it, but it's iffy. By luck, you may just guess the future and, oh, hey, so I'm spending all this time trying to get back to the tribal timetable. I think that we've got so far away from it that I don't think we'll ever get back to it, but a reasonable facsimile. And that would be to give older people a job instead of buying creams and dyeing their hair. And
Yeah.
This old thing. Here, watch this. This is how you know. This is when you die. This will be okay. Now you see this. Okay, there's my hand. Now normally this is a normal hand, the back of my hand. Okay. Now when you pull it up like this, you grab it and pull it up. When you let go, it goes back to that, just automatic. But when you get old, you start buying creams. This is what happens. You do that, and see, it doesn't go down as fast. It doesn't disappear. See that? It doesn't disappear.
Yeah.
See, it's just like, okay. See, the police will come in, or maybe a doctor will come in and say, give me the back of your hand. Kill him. Boop. You're dead. See, and then we're back on the tribal timetable, because that happens around when you're 50, 60, 70. In other words, when you've given you've had your wisdom and you've passed it on, no, it didn't go down in time. Because if they don't kill you or you don't die of some weird disease like bird flu, you have 10 more years of something to do, like get a hobby, get busy, ride a bike. I mean, okay, I gotta get out of here. You've got to stop me from talking. I just talk to you. My friends get bored. Okay, I gotta go. Boom.
All good. We're both ADHD. We're good.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. ADHD. Yeah. But I think I'm also dyslexic. Is that? Is there any connection? I think there's a connection there. But ADHD and dyslexia are similar, but dyslexia is kind of different. But my theory is that Homo sapiens are normally ADHD and dyslexic. I think that's what we really are. Musk, Trump, any leader. I once asked. I went to these Hollywood parties. These cocktail parties, or after a big screening. Everybody's invited. Really, all these famous rich people. And they go to these cocktail tables.
Yeah.
All over the room, and because you can stand and put your drink on the table, so there's no seats, just this. Okay. So I saw a bunch of movers and shakers, like CEOs. It's about five of them. I think they owned like Friends, the big time original producers of Friends were around this one table. But they were big money, really big time people. And so I had been invited. So I went. So I had this cocktail in my hand, and I saw how you do it. You just walk up to a table, you put your drink down, and then you join the conversation. And you just walk from table to table, and it's kind of cool. Okay. So I saw, all right, I saw how to do that. So I put my drink down on the table, and I just listened for a while. And but they were all curious as to who's this new person. And I was dressed kind of nice, so I always accept. They were all in suits and dresses, and that. And so I said, and so they kind of looked at me like, "Do you have anything to add to the conversation?" And I said, "Yeah, I'd like to ask a question. Is it okay if I ask you all a question?" And they go, "Oh yeah, well, what's this? This is a new game." Okay, yeah. What's the question? I said, you people are all like presidents or like leaders of your companies. You're in charge of hiring and that kind of thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're all CEOs. Yes. Well, is that the question? No. The question is, I believe that all you CEOs and all CEOs are ADHD and what is it? Oh,
The autistic?
not autistic. When everything has to be perfect, everything has to be
OCD.
OCD. I say, I have a theory that all of you CEOs have OCD. Is that right? And they all never been asked this. They all looked around and they said, "Yeah, I think so." And then they all agreed.
Huh.
And I said, "Thank you." And then I walked away. But I've always carried that. Yeah, I think so. And I thought, wait a minute. This room is filled with OCD. It's all like a big time, heavy duty, dress up. This is cool. Hollywood thing. And hundreds of thousands of dollars went into the chicken and the eggs and the sausage and the drinks and the caviar, all that stuff. So yeah, and I thought, I started asking my friends, and yeah, everybody's like normal, no OCD. But then I thought, but when you talk to them and you try to tap the OCD button, try to destroy some, like the people who are for Trump, and not good or bad, just the people who are for Trump for whatever reason. There's those people, they're for Trump. There's no OCD. It's the same thing as OCD. In other words, they won't change. They're like locked in. They got the parameters, and so it's got to be up. And then I started looking around. Everybody has a piece of OCD or dyslexia or ADHD. It's part of our DNA, and I think that's another reason why I think I'm more right than wrong about babies with samurai swords. OCD. I mean, Hitler had OCD. I mean, also presidents of the United States have OCD. They're not bad people. They're not Hitler. It's if you just want to be in charge, that's part of it. It's like ducks know where to fly in the winter, or turtles know where to swim, or it's like an OCD button for that one thing. And I don't think it's helping us. I think we have to overcome it. Like it said, that OCD thing. I mean, maybe like survival. We got to survive. That's like a DNA thing. Survive, just survive.
Mm.
That's part of. I mean, maybe that's part of OCD. Anyway, I gotta get out of here. I gotta stop talking. I can't. I got. Once I get this book out, then I just stop. See, I'm sitting at the computer. That's what the key is. This is suggestible because I'm writing query letters. That's all I do all day. Is write query letters. Hey, please print my book. It's 70,000 words plus. It's about this. It's about women and loneliness and heart and conviction. That's what they want to know. That's all the buzzwords they use. It's you go online and you read an agent.
Yeah.
And they say, what are you looking for? They say, I'm looking for feelings and heart and science fiction, murder, or how to. With feeling and relationships. That's what they say. That's what I'm looking for. Do you have that? 70,000 words, approximately 300. 70,000 words, approximately 300 pages. That's this feedback I get. I've been doing it for a month now, so that's where all this stuff is coming from. And I'm sitting in front of it, and I'm thinking, okay, I got to just. Okay, all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
For your patience, for your incredible patience for listening to all this. It's bullshit. I mean, I could be wrong. That's I'm going to sign off. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I mean, I could be wrong. Okay. Thank you. It's a pleasure talking to you and at you and for you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no, it's always a pleasure hearing you. And
Okay. Yeah, but I'm thinking you're closer. The reason that I really like is because I feel like I have a connection to Alaska. And through that, Alaska, I don't think of podcasts or Christina specifically. I think about Alaska in terms of tribal. They're closer to nature. Anybody living up there is closer to nature. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Africa, the tribes there. But once they get desks. See, here's the thing. I think, okay, here's the thing. I got to get up. The guy who, the first guy, or it could be a woman. It could be a woman. The first one who put together 2 and 2, 2 plus 2, and got exactly 4. He should be spanked or just made to sit in the clothes closet or something. Punished. He should be sued until his eyes bleed. That's it. Sue him. The guy who put 2 and 2 together for the first time and got 4. It's been downhill since then. Yes, that's my final statement. And he should be sued till his eyes bleed. Okay, Tina, I'm getting out of here. We got to write these query letters. I really do. Okay, thank you, Christina. It's
all
great.
right. No problem. Well,
okay, let's do it again sometime, but down the road, okay? But anytime you want to talk to me, yeah, I'm talking to Alaska and Christina. You guys up there, you know what you're doing. A little more than us people, us guys and girls down here. I do believe that. Tribalism is, I don't know how we can get there, but tribalism is the way to go, in nature.
Speaking of, did you get your gift that I sent you?
Oh, Oh, I thought it was spam. I thought it was a
No, no,
scam.
no, no. In your physical mailbox, there was.
Yes. Well, what? No, no. I got a call a couple of days ago. Not, I mean, 2 or 3 days ago, and it was early in the morning, and that's when these scammers, these hackers, they call me in the morning, and I just hang up. I say, "This is a scam, right?" And then there's no,
Uh-huh.
I hang up. So I got this call, and it said, "Is this Larry Hankin?" And I said, "Yeah." And they wanted to know what my real address was for. And they said, are you in Marina Del Rey? And that was, see, anybody who wants to get information from me over the phone, that's a hacker. That's like a tell.
Right.
So I just, so I said, why? And they gave me a number. I even wrote it down, and then I hung up. So 12430800672. And they said, was it from Reader's Digest?
No, it should have been
Oh,
from Fine
that
Art
wasn't.
America.
Yeah, no. They said they had a package for me and wanted it cleared. They needed information from me because they didn't know what was in the package. They thought it may be something dangerous, so they wanted to know if I knew either who sent it, and I said no, I don't know anybody at Reader's Digest. And then they said, well, what's your address? And I wouldn't give it to them. They said, you're in Marina Del Rey. We know that. And then they said, I'd rather, I said, who are you? And then instead of telling me who they were, they said, you live at, and then they gave me my address.
That's
And once they
weird.
did that, I said, okay, this is a scam. And I hung up. So I
Yeah.
thought maybe that was yours, but no, it was a
No,
scam.
no, no, no. My stuff
What
came
did you
from.
send?
It was from Fine Art America. It was one of my pictures on a product from
Oh
Alaska.
man. Was it like flat? Was it like a photo that you sent? Or was it a box?
It was either a coffee cup or a notebook. One of those.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold a coffee cup?
I think so. I can't remember what exactly it was, but it definitely was from Fine Art America.
Right there. This is
Yep, that's the one. Yeah. Okay, so you did get
it.
it.
Had
All
no.
right.
All I did was I found it in my mailbox, but there was nothing on it. It was wrapped. I don't
Yeah.
know if it was a box or whatever. It was wrapped rather cleverly, actually, because the box it was in was like one of these one piece that folded into a great sending box, but it protected this from jiggling around. It was really cool. As an industrial designer, I dig those kind of things. It was one piece, but so I just done okay. But it had no markings. It didn't say. I think maybe it said good luck or whatever, but it didn't identify you or where it came from or nothing. So,
Oh,
but it happened to be something that I need. I use this every day. I
really?
don't know where it comes from, but I needed one of these, and I use it every day, and I don't know where it came from. So thank you. But it's used. It was needed, as a matter of fact. I was using. See, I'll tell you what it was. I was using this. See, but this you can't. You can't. I use it to heat coffee. But because this is the biggest kind of coffee cup that I have. The
Yeah.
others, I drink more than the regular cup. So, but I can't put this in the microwave.
Oh, yes.
So I have to heat it in a different thing, like on the stove or in a pan or whatever. And then I pour it
Yeah.
in here. But this, I pour, well, see, I pour this in here, and then I put this in the microwave, and then I just drink it out of here. Well, I don't even use that anymore. I just put the coffee in here, put it in the microwave, and
Yeah. That bear. I'm glad that you were able to get that and everything. That bear is an old fogey.
Oh, because I know I wanted to know.
There's a story to him.
I said whoever sent this meant to send the bear. Meant to send the bear. This was a choice of somebody. I got that far, but then I was saying, okay, who do I know that would associate me with the bear? But no, it's Christina with the bear. It's Alaska. That's what it was.
Yeah.
So okay, but I did figure out it was specifically chosen as a bear to be sent as opposed to anybody else. But I didn't go to Alaska, of course. But it should have been a polar bear, and I would have nailed it.
I do have one on my site too. So, but yeah, no,
this is enough. This is fine.
I went through all my photos, and I specifically like to choose out of the personalities and everything.
Oh no, okay, no. If you chose this, if you chose this bear for me because you thought that there's an association, no, that's cool. That's cool. No, I'm saying that if you sent the polar bear, I would have associated it with you. But you associate this with me. No, that's the right gift. If I sent something to you, I would send something like a polar bear or an iceberg or snow or something that would click in. Oh, I get it. What that's me. Or oil.
Yeah.
What is it? Oil burners? Is that it? Oil burners.
Oil runners. Yeah.
Oh, you're poisoning the atmosphere. It's you.
No, it's supposed to be.
No, it's not me. I'm not doing it.
No, but yeah, no, that bear, I took a picture of him because I was observing.
Oh, you mean this is your photo?
My personal photo, yes. I do.
Oh, man. That's a great photo. Oh, no. Oh, now I'm loving it. Oh, okay. Now it's cool. Oh, no wonder.
He was an old fogey bear. He was an old fogey bear, and he kept on pacing back and forth to this rock, and I was like, that's kind of weird. But he would do something, and then he would go back and then huff, and then he just kept on going back and forth and his cave was right next to him. So, but it was just really weird how he was doing that. But he was kind of, and I said, okay, well, there's something about this bear. But for some reason, when I chose that picture, that bear reminded me of you in such a way that he was trying to find out what life was about, after our talk and everything. Like, it was just like kind of
right on, because I kept on going back to him and say, somebody sent me this and chose to send me this, and I want to find out who it was. But I use it every day, every morning, and at night. I just when I'm working at night, I use this, and it replaced. Well, I've used this for about quite a long time. Well, and here's the trick of it. There's actually even a great measurement that it measures perfect. Okay, this holds more than this. So what I do is, and this is how it works. I fill this up with coffee and half and half. Okay, so I fill it up, where it's full. Okay, then I pour it in here, but I have to stop, when it gets up, a little to like there,
right,
because this holds way more. So there is about, about half a quarter of an inch of cold stuff here. Put this in the microwave. It comes out, and I do it for a certain amount of time, and it comes out hot. I can't drink it, but I pour it back into here, and this is cold in here. And then when I pour it back, it's the perfect temperature. Now I could do it that way, but I like to do the pouring. It gives me something to do. It's like it's just busy. It's just, and also I know that I can heat this, and because this will, I don't know. When I pour, it's really weird because when I pour the hot coffee into here, I can't pick it up like this. This is metal, man. It burns my hand. I tried it once. Burns my hand. It's so hot. So it's lucky I don't put it in. Okay, but thank you.
Oh yeah, no, it's my pleasure. Yeah.
But the mystery has been solved. And with that, whoops. And with that, I'm going out of here. I'm going to stop cam. Okay. Christina, thank you.
Yes,
Anytime, give me a buzz. Okay.
absolutely. Thank
Bye.
you, Larry. Be safe. All right, guys. Well, we're going to end the stream with Chanan. Thank you for watching.